How many of you have volunteered to participate in studies for the benefit of science or medicine? Wouldn't it be scary if you could be selected to participate in an experiment without your consent or even your knowledge? Project MKULTRA did just that in many cases, here in the United States and some in Canada during the 1950s and 60s. Project MKULTRA was a covert CIA program with the purpose of researching how to manipulate individual mental states and alter brain functions. In other words, brainwashing. Mind-altering drugs and chemicals, isolation, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and verbal and sexual abuse were all employed by CIA researchers in their experiments. Then CIA Director Alan Dulles started Project MKULTRA in 1953 in response to alleged experiments involving mind control techniques on American PWs by communist forces in Korea. Codename MKULTRA was used because MK signified the program was sponsored by the Technical Services Staff of the CIA, and the Ultra meant that it was at the most secret level of classification. A great deal of experiments conducted under Project MKULTRA involved the use of mind-altering chemicals. MKULTRA had goals of creating drugs to physically or mentally incapacitate, induce amnesia, increase or decrease work efficiency, and create cheap drugs. Lysergic acid diethylamide, more commonly known as LSD, was used heavily during experiments. Agents would dose, for the most part, unknowing members of the general public with LSD and study their reaction. Inmates, students, mental patients, even members of the military and CIA were included in these experiments. LSD was not the only psychedelic drug used. Others included psilocybin, mescaline, and ergot, better known as LSA. Project MKULTRA also experiments with barbiturates, which are nervous system depressants, or downers. Sometimes those barbiturates were used in combination with amphetamines, which are uppers. The full extent of Project MKULTRA's experiments is unknown due to the destruction of a majority of MKULTRA's documents by ex-CIA Director Richard Helm. However, it is known that 44 colleges and universities participated in MKULTRA's experiments, as well as 15 research foundations or pharmaceutical companies, 12 hospitals, and 3 prisons. There are several known deaths as a result of MKULTRA's experiments. A few well-known people were known to have been participants, including Ken Casey, author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Casey volunteered for experiments involving psychedelics while studying at Stanford University. Early friend of Jerry Garcia, singer-songwriter Robert Hunter similarly participated in these same experiments. Credible sources also suggest that the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, actually participated in MKULTRA experiments at Harvard University. Information about Project MKULTRA was made public by Congress in 1975. President Gerald Ford created the Rockefeller Commission to investigate claims of illegal domestic activities on U.S. citizens by the CIA. Congress also tasked the Church Committee of investigating Project MKULTRA, since many of its experiments violated the Nuremberg Code due to a lack of informed consent by participants. The results of this investigation prompted President Ford to issue the first executive order on intelligence activities, which, in part, prohibited the experimentation on humans without informed consent witnessed by a third party. In conclusion, Project MKULTRA was a secret and illegal program involving the experimentation on U.S. citizens run by the CIA. MKULTRA aimed to develop mind control substances and techniques for intelligence uses.